Okay, hello, Michael Ironside. It is a real pleasure to talk to you today. Please tell people about your character and his motivation in the movie Confession.
Well, that's kind of a very general opening for me. I mean, the subject matter is so large. This project, Confession, was sent to me, and it deals with date rape, um, non-consensual sex, um, sexual battery, and basically male and female in society's kind of view of it.
Mm.
And I play a recalcitrant, I think that's the right word, an inflexible, near the end of his career detective who put this case to sleep a couple of years ago, and this young, who I think is politically motivated assistant DA shows up and wants to reopen it, maybe reinvestigate some of the information. And I liked, when I read the script, I was drawn to the fact that it was very well written. It took a very, very difficult subject and made it entertaining in the sense that there's murder mystery, there's deception, there's all these wonderfully drawn up characters. And my character, basically, I saw as the character that represents the audience. His arc from being somebody who's inflexible, like, what the hell are you doing this for? This has been solved a long time ago. It was shelved. To being at the end, being a champion for the actual cause, and sees and able to go mea culpa, and go like, Mike, I missed this, and seeing the universe from a different point of view. And hopefully that is the underlying arc that we want some of the audience members that we're speaking to. This film wasn't made for the people that already understand the quagmire of sexual opinions towards women and stuff like that. But it's meant for the people who don't consider that, that are sitting there saying, well, what was she wearing? Was she drinking? She shouldn't have been there at that time of night. She. And do you mind if I go on a bit of a diatribe here for a second?
I'm up for it.
All right. Look at when I've got two daughters, and and I come from an Irish Catholic background. So I have 97 first cousins, and a couple of my cousins when I was young were raped. And I remember the women being ashamed and showering them and scrubbing them, and the police coming to the house and all that stuff. But when I was younger, but I sat down when my youngest daughter was 14 to sort of have that conversation with her. You're getting to dating age, how to carry yourself in dating and sexuality and stuff like that. And she stopped me in the middle and said, Dad, what were you taught in health class? Were you taught what, about contraception? I said, yeah, how to not get sexually transmitted diseases and how to protect yourself and have safe sex. She goes, yeah, it's still the same for men. She says, you know what I'm taught? And I said, yeah, the same. She goes, no, I'm taught how not to get raped. And I went, what? She says, girls are taught how to wear their hair not in ponytails when they're out at night by themselves, because you can grab it. Wear your hair down. If you're going to a formal event in heels and stuff like that, and you got to go home by yourself, carry a pair of walking shoes so you can run in them. Stay away from dark alleys. Stay away from parking lots. Always carry your drink with you so that somebody can't basically drop a roofie in it or something like that. She says, we're constantly looking for the predator, the sexual predator. We are seen and we're taught not to be a victim and how to avoid being a victim. And that was like a whole world opened up to me. And I thought I knew quite a bit. I'm in my mid-40s. And it changed my whole attitude towards this sort of thing. And that's what this film addresses. This film addresses that guy who's sitting talking to his daughter and doesn't have the opportunity of a daughter that will talk to him. This talks about the nature in our society where men and women are equal, but men are more equal. And in a lot of societies, men are a lot more equal, and in some women. I was talking to a friend who, she was raped a few years back. And when she called the police, and when she went to the hospital, this female doctor said to her, were you drinking? What were you wearing? What did you expect? What were you doing out at that time of night? And it crushed her from a woman. So this is not just male, female. There's a whole part of society that has a tendency to blame the victim here. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the whole idea of this film we're doing, and why I got behind it, and a lot of us actors on this project got behind it, is because it's a story that needs to be told. You know, it needs to be addressed, and I think Dana Hansen, our director, did a fabulous job.
Nice.
She allowed us to. She cast it correctly. You know, with the right people, and then allowed us to sort of bring these characters. You know, like you know, Matt Thompson came up. Matt Tompkins came up from Dallas to be a part of this project. He did one half a day playing that very tough ass detective. It was like beating up on a witness, you know.
Right,
because
I remember. Yeah,
you know, he's in that, and this man stars in his own bloody films. He does his own films and stuff. He came up because the subject matter spoke to him. You know, I don't know.
I really enjoyed you in some recent Canadian movies. I liked Bloodthirsty and Tin Can quite a bit. How is it important to you to still do Canadian productions?
To do what?
Canadian productions.
Yeah, it's basically when it's warm. You know,
Yeah.
when the ground's on. No, look at one of my favorite cities in the world is Montreal.
Yeah.
And what I've done a lot of projects in Montreal because it's my favorite, one of my favorite cities. We had a condo there for almost 30 years. And our youngest, we introduced her. Every summer I'd take her there with us when we were shooting and stuff. And she would, and look, it's a privileged position to be able to, I get offered a lot of jobs and I get to pick and choose what I can do. And I would try and do one or two in Canada every year.
Nice.
I want to support where I come from.
Would you work with David Cronenberg again?
If David would have me, absolutely.
Cool. And
that was 40 years ago.
I know. But
no, it was actually,
everybody loves Skinners.
Hold on a second. That was it's longer than that. It's 1979, 80 when we shot that. But
telekinesis is something important to you, is it not?
You're kind of like lamplighting me here. What are you asking?
Isn't it true in 2018 at Fantasia Fest you were talking about telekinesis a little bit?
Yeah.
Like tell people about your relationship with it. I'm interested.
What do you mean my relationship? You're basically prodding around. Why don't you be direct? What do you want to know?
Didn't you say that you could do telekinesis?
No, I didn't say that.
Oh, okay.
I said I come from a family where do you really want to get into this?
I do. Yeah. We'll wrap it up with this.
Oh, you're totally nerd on this. All right.
That's cool. Yeah.
No, I don't mean in a derogatory sense. My sister, I come from a family where there's a lot of what we call pixelation.
Okay.
It comes from the old Celtic word of she's with the pixies, you know. And my sister basically, when we were younger, could rock rocking chairs and do things like that. My younger brother, when he didn't get his way when he was a little kid, could shut the TV off. This is before remotes. He would just, the piano would play octaves of D in the middle of the night and stuff like this. We had very active children. And my part of it is I have other people's dreams.
Damn.
My dreams I can stop, edit, and run backwards. I can control what I'm dreaming of. There's dreams I have.
Is that what they call lucid dreaming?
No, it's not.
It's something else.
I have dreams that are somebody else's. I pick up, for example, my sister's. I remember I used to have to go wake her up so I could go to sleep because she'd be having a dream that was kind of like sending out a very broad spectrum that I would pick up. I also pick up a lot of stuff in history in rooms, like hotel rooms and stuff. There's some rooms I just can't stay in because there's just too much history in them. You know, my wife of 40 years now, she didn't really believe me the first couple of years we were married. We were looking for a house in the Hollywood Hills. And we walked into this one house, and as we were walking around, I said, oh, it was like walking into Jello. I said, what happened to this room? And the guy said, what? No, I don't have to, we didn't have to disclose. I said, I know love, but what happened? They went, well, he hung himself.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ. And it turned out the previous owner had killed all his pets and then hung himself in the room we walked into. And he said, we don't have to disclose it because blah, blah, blah. And I said, yeah, it's all right. Never mind. And it was a wonderful property, but there was no way. But I pick up stuff. So there's a lot of times where there's an emotional or there's a history that I'll pick up. And so, and especially when you're traveling a lot and you're in hotels and motels and stuff, I'll have to try about 2 or 3 rooms before I can find something that is calm enough for me to go sleep in.
I would love to keep going, but we got to leave it there. I really enjoyed your film Confession, amongst many other films. Michael Ironside, thank you so much for your time.
Michael, you're a total nerd about this.